what an SEC championship that was. Dayne Young, Brent Rollins from UGAsports.com. We do Film Don't Lie. If you're watching live, we are going to be starting with the second half when Gunner Stockton took over for Georgia. We'll have all the other aspects of the game, including first half offense, defense as a whole, and then every play from overtime in separate Film Don't Lie videos. But thanks for watching live if you are. If you're not and watching this later, appreciate that too. Just subscribe to the channel so you know that we feel the love. We're the most popular channel that cover the Georgia Bulldogs on YouTube. Brent, we're going to jump right into this with Gunner Stockton. Carson Beck gets hurt at the end of the second quarter. Halftime, we really don't know what's going on. And then Gunner comes out, and it's his show.
Well, so Dash and I were sitting right beside each other. So just a FYI, this was the third one in a row I've been to. So 2-1. Georgia's 2-1 with me at the dome for the or at the Benz. But we were like looking and talking, hey, did you see 15? Did you see 15? And I'm like, I didn't see 15. I didn't see 15. And then you see Coach Van Gorder, Montgomery Van Gorder, talking to Gunner like very intently while he's warming up. And then you don't see Beck warming up and you're like, all right, yep, he's done.
He was done. And let's show you what it looked like and things that stood out, because you can't change an offense in a half, but you can definitely lean into someone's tendencies a bit more. And I think we see this. But the first play that we're showing here, and this is the third play from scrimmage for him. Go to Arian Smith on a little deep curl here.
Yeah, and it's one where, what do you trust? And what's he feel? You kind of got to know these things, right? You got to know, hey, what does he feel good about? Instantly, though, you see, okay, it's third down, and you see him changing the pressure or changing the protection. Slides everybody to the left, and the defense dictates where the ball goes. So you got, pause it for the snap there. As he goes across, you see the single high safety. So you got cover three with the two corners, the single safety, the other safety kind of buzz or rob or however you want to term it down. So he's working the curl flat to the right versus, say, the slant flat to the left. And then he goes up, changes the protection to move it left, and just hits an in rhythm for the throw to Arian. What's interesting, the second hitch. And by the way, Delp being in the middle of the field helps create some window there. His second hitch with his footwork almost allowed the guy to kind of get his hand on the ball. Tate's blocking that last little bit, but still in rhythm throw, great throwing lane, and right on his chest. Hard to drop that one, 11. You could say that a lot, but that one definitely caught. So, huge play because you go 3 and out there, and that's just not good. Not good in the situation.
And this is after the offense in the first half had, 50 yards? I mean, it was not good in the first half. Did nothing in the first half.
Absolutely nothing.
3rd and 1 here on the next set of downs. Nate Frazier in the game.
Love this call. I actually thoroughly enjoyed the call. It's, hey, maybe we'll get them taking a shot, and then, all right, 14, go be an athlete.
I highlighted Nate Frazier to show, look how this man has gotten better at blocking. Find a man. Boom.
Bill Norton says hello, but Nate Frazier did a good job of just finding work, because he initially is, play fake. Boom, looks around. All right, fine work. Perfect job. Awesome job. Phenomenal job. Like, you can't say enough about that there, because and then Gunner is able to scramble, and partly because of how Texas played, and they didn't really attack him in this first drive. After this first drive, they started attacking him more so, because watch on the left defensive end on the offense's right, Colin Simmons backing off. So now when he can scramble, easily scrambles to his right. I would say go north-south versus east-west, but yeah.
But this is when it becomes 11-on-11 football, and Georgia historically doesn't do a whole lot of that.
Yeah, oh yeah, with the QB that can run. Very much so.
This throw makes you realize how he was one of the all-time passing leaders in high school in Georgia.
Well, it's one of those where, first off, you saw more pistol, but also the design rollout. Hey, let's sit here, invite the rush in. Look how easy that block is for Delp, then, by the way, because you've invited that guy in. I think you're going to see a lot of this in the coming up in the playoff game, where just get him on the move, because you can tell it's, it makes the throwing lanes easier, the windows easier, and holy cow, what a catch. I mean, looking down live, I thought there was no shot he was in. I thought he hit right on the white, like half a foot on the white, but like it was, they showed the replay and it's like a blade of turf that between him and the sideline.
I don't think it's being hyperbolic to say that's one of the best catches in the history of Georgia football.
I mean, effort-wise, with the 1 foot down.
You want to say big moments, whatever, fine. But like, I'm putting this up there as like as difficult as Terry Godwin against Notre Dame.
I mean, that's and that that might be their opponent in the first round. I did think he was going to just dump it to ETN though. Like as he rolls out, the second level defender turns his back, I think. Right there, that middle guy kind of backs off a little bit. I thought he was just going to dump it to ETN because the guy's coming in his face, and boom, still hits the throw.
And at this point,
he's going to get hit.
Georgia fans are feeling really good about what they're seeing.
Oh, the energy in the building was insane at that point after that catch.
So you go to empty, you send ETN away. I'm guessing you've called some plays in your day, Brent. I'm guessing you said this is a draw.
Instantly, it's the instant thought of, here we go, QB draw. And then once they run it, you're like, okay, when are we going to go QB draw again? Way to make people miss. Way to be patient, by the way. You think about something like that in a game of that magnitude coming into the game, first drive, you could be rushed and maybe make a wrong cut or too quick of a decision and run into something. Him being patient allowed the D lineman to make the move, and Tate's like, sure, you can go inside. Go right ahead. Run right by the QB. One
note here. He's in the transfer portal now, right?
He's not. Yes.
And this is a good play. This Nitro Tuggle entered the portal today as we're recording this. Runs his guy off, but then keeps blocking him at the end of it.
Yep. I mean, maybe thought he'd done enough to earn some more reps, earn some more PT. But no, great play. He had, I think Gunner ended up with 6 rushes for 26 yards. If you take away any sort of sacks or negative plays, 5 for 23 on design rushes. So it was definitely an element.
I'm going to highlight the person you're going to gush over in these videos.
It's one where the discourse within, and it's kind of come full circle this year, specifically in the NFL. There was a time where it was like, hey, running backs don't matter. Why are you investing in running backs? Why are you investing? Why are you spending resources on running backs? But now that's come back. It's always mattered a little bit more in the college game. But this year, with the just gluttony of backs that are out there dominating, obviously Genty, but this is just a great run. You're not doing it. You don't have a conflict, unblocked defender. Delp gets away with a little bit of a hold there, luckily. And he just makes a great cut and then accelerates. Yeah, he gets that one little grab. But
one other block I wanted to highlight here. I think this is also against Bill Norton.
Yeah, boom. By the way, Bill Norton is ginormous now. It feels like he's even bigger than he was at Georgia. But still, that's just a heck of an effort from ETN.
This little hop step, boom, boom. Look how quick that is.
And then we've talked about this before, but anytime you get a back in space like that, especially when you know where you got to get to, don't juke, don't be passive, don't just get through the chest. Get through the chest of the defender, because now you're the one delivering the blow instead of taking it, and that's what he does, and then the momentum carries him, and a little help from his friends carry him into the end zone.
3rd and 9, Cass Jones in the game. Run him off. Here you go again.
I mean, it's a thing, and it's going to be it's one of those where you're going to have things off of it now, and all that sort of stuff. But I will say, if you are going to be a running quarterback, have a little. He runs the grass, but then starts going east-west. Where I thought this is one where if you're, and a lot of this is, hey, I haven't played in a while. And by the way, even if he's doing this in practice, it's not like it's live. He's not getting hit. So it's easier. But watch about right, pause it here, right, a little bit more, just a hair more, right there. Put your right foot in the ground and then cut through that lane to the left and get north-south. Yeah. And because that's what when those D linemen are doing that, hey, get them leaning one way, then go the other, sets up your block. And then you're one-on-one with 16 instead of having to deal with 16 and 4 or 7, whoever that is. I think it's 4.
I just love the option. I mean, some of these principles comes down to option football where it's so much about numbers. Because over here you have 4-on-4. And so that's difficult if you were to throw the screen to Cash. You may get some yards out of it, but you're probably not scoring. Didn't score anyway, but you have much better chance dealing with this open space and this open space if your quarterback can run.
Yep, and good job being patient again. Cash putting his hands up, be fake, things like that.
All right, now we have a first and goal.
I love this call. I love the way they set it up formationally, by the way, because Jurasic motioned out. He was initially in line. He kind of motioned out to an empty. But to me, if you're going to do this, and I realize what they're doing, by the way, it's a, hey, I'm going to run to the right or I'm going to throw it to the left kind of thing based upon the numbers. But I would love to have that as a jet fake. Like, Georgia Tech would have been a jet fake and then go block and get on the outside. But the other thing with this play, this could be a touchdown, or at least you got to be 1-on-1 with 16. But watch what 84 does here. He doesn't anticipate him coming outside, because if you watch Texas's defense, they react north-south. There's no fake. There's no hesitation. There's no look to their right. Everything is north-south, looking at what's going on right in front of them. And they're an aggressive defense like that. So that's where you get that guy's instantly react and see him flow. Hey, I need to work outside. 84 didn't anticipate it and misses him there. And then, yeah, but again, I like the play call. Sets up, you don't get anything, and then you set up the field, end up getting a field goal out of it.
Yeah, I also think with first down, you're probably, if you can help it, not throwing with the quarterback that hasn't played for much of 2 years.
Right.
Down in the red zone.
The second down call, I think, was just a straight handoff with some little bit of jet fake, if I remember right. Wasn't the best. I wasn't a fan of the second down call. This was awesome.
Special teams guy. I'm sure your brain was already seeing it before it happened. So we have Arian Smith. We have Drew Bobo.
Well, I will say I didn't see it before it happened, because while I paid attention, and I did tell someone sitting beside me, hey, they can fake one at one point, because especially when on the couple different punts and the one that Thorson hurt his leg, Texas was instantly turning in their heads and running like they do on this play on the wide side of the field. Now I went back and looked at. I wasn't curious. Or I was curious, so I went back and looked at all the punt plays. Every other play, Malachi was the one in motion. Now he's sitting there on the inside. Arian was the gunner every other play. Arian's the one that comes in motion this time. And by the way, Drew freaking Bobo, heck of a catch, because he's not really looking when the ball is snapped. Unreal, because he motions, head still kind of the left. Looking around, ball snapped. Oh, there it is. Got to get it. Got to catch it. And then, in the box score, it reads Drew Bobo, 1 for 1 for 9 yards.
And he
100% completion.
I'm assuming he'll never throw another pass for Georgia.
You would hope not, right? Unless this same thing happens again. You never know. Let's just run it the other way next time, right? Or he maybe fakes it and gets himself 2 or 3 yards on that. But the call, by the way, and I mentioned this on another interview podcast thing earlier in the week. When you know what's at stake in these championship games, the bye and that extra rest, calls like this, and Kirby said it after the game. He's like, "Hey, when you know you're already in, I can make calls like this. I can be a little over aggressive, because if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But if it does, it could mean the game." And by the way, this is the drive they end up taking the lead. So, and on their own, 29-yard line, something like that.
Now it's 13-13.
This is what's got to get fixed and or either worked on, fixed, removed, whatever in their offense. Like 7th grade kids don't hitch on this. You've got to catch that and throw it. I'm sorry. Like he's got a slower release.
That's probably the best trait that Carson Beck has is how quickly he gets rid of the ball.
Because it's catch and go. And if you're going to catch that and hitch, watch his foot, watch his feet. Boom, hitch up, throw. You got no shot. The defense is there, especially Texas's defense, by the way, who flows to the football really well. And look at all of them. It's too quick or it's too slow. I mean,
it's slow.
It happened multiple times.
When Bill Norton is tackling Arian Smith, it's a slow developing play.
Right. And it's just like I said, it's just got to be. And by the way, I love the fact that, hey, I'd rather him take his time, and especially in this game and game situation, take your time, make sure you get the laces, throw a good pass, complete it, that sort of thing. Don't put the ball in harm's way. But moving forward, I don't know how much quick game you're going to see because his release is just slower. It just is. And by the way, it's not necessarily slower, like it's just too slow. It's just that's the difference of how elite Carson Beck is at that one thing. I think that's Beck's elite trait is the ability to catch it and spin it so quickly.
3rd and 3 here, which I make that point to say Georgia did a good job, and Mike Bobo I thought did a good job of managing to gain a few yards on pretty much all of these plays with Gunnar Stockton, so you didn't end up in a 3rd and 9 situation, at least frequently.
Well, traditionally Texas is very much a single high or two deep quarters kind of look. And in these situations, so you need the delt motion and route is perfect for this because you clear out that outside flat defender just that little bit, and it's a great job by Gunnar just taking the check down.
All the space, take it, first down.
ETN had like 5 catches, I think 5 for 28, something like that. 22 touches or 21 touches, 122 yards in the 2 touchdowns. Like, but this is, and by the way, we had talked about this earlier all year of Georgia's identity. And I think in the playoffs, it's going to be a running back based offense. Play action shots. They're going to have to just take some, play action 1-2 chuck it kind of throws. But these are your best players, and it's going to mesh with your defense. Your defense is going to need to be what it needs to be. But this guy's, I think, almost perfect for that style.
Anthony Evans in here.
My eyes almost just so in shock, just unreal in shock as to how he got this football. There are 6 white jerseys around him, and he reaches out and grabs this thing. I mean, colleague of mine at work, he's like, hey, is Georgia are they out of the lucky games yet? Lucky bounces yet? Because
between this and then we'll see
one little bit later and a little bit. There's other. I mean, the Everett's first interception, the bounce up. Like, there's so many things in this where it's just like, oh my, in terms of the luck of the bounce. In a way, I don't mind the call. I'd love to see him just go forward and get 2 yards. Yeah, that's the perfect reaction. It's a little surrender cover there. How did we not get that? But and I think that's one of those things where, at least in these playoff games, they're going to have to. And these skill guys, it's not going to be, hey, go make just huge play. When it's there, make it. But if we can get 5 yards and stay ahead of the chains, because guess what? This guy is not drop back guy. And I think that's going to be just ingrained to them over the next few weeks. Hey, just get positive yards. Just get positive yards. Stay ahead of the chains. 3rd and manageable or big. If we get the chance to take shots, we'll take shots.
Eat up clock. Eat up possessions.
Mm-hmm. Play to the defense.
Opponent's offense. And the funny, if it ends up being Notre Dame, they do the same thing.
Right. Exactly. They're kind of going to play this. Try to play the same kind of style.
So take the under if that's the case. I say that, and then you saw what Georgia and Georgia Tech ended up being.
Yes, true.
So that was Evans and the fumble.
This is a great. Your call beats their call. they run a run stunt. They try to get everybody in a gap, and you just block it well. Like this was just blocked really well. Tate, Wilson, Fairchild gets the guy turned. Like Truss gets his hand in there. Humphreys gets a little bit of enough of that guy so he can't get to Frazier.
Look how Tate Ratledge takes his guy to the right that opens up the lane more, and then kind of rides with him back to the left when the defender goes that way, and then Frazier can cut behind that.
And that's where, by the way, that's what great backs do. Look at him. See how he's on his left foot there? Like that's setting up that block. Boom, left foot. That guy wants to dive in, helps Tate out. They thought they'd get you with the stunt, and your call beats their call.
Well, and you know how we always say, like, your block doesn't have to be a pancake every time.
Mm-mm.
What London Humphreys does here, just to kind of alter a little bit,
just alters his path. He can't go straight at him, right? He's got to bend a little bit, slows himself down,
and
doesn't need to hit him.
That's the difference in a tackle right there,
right?
And gaining right there is one guy getting his arm out, altering a path a little bit.
Big play.
Very big play. Now here's the other fumble. First of all, Nate, hold on the ball, my friend.
And this is one where Truss gets a little lucky because they're now getting aggressive defensively. You see the LB coming. See how he gets his left arm on the LB. I think because of how the guy reacts, and then Truss kind of gets on the other side of him really quick. Let's go really quick. But look, this is when you could see the defender coming down to get this because the view was right looking down at this. And look where this ball ends up, by the way. This ball is right under this kid's arm. Right,
so the ball's right there.
Mm-hmm. And it's right under his elbow.
I'm going to try to play this slow so we can see how Arian.
And then he realizes it. So he puts his arm kind of back. Hey, I'm going to get the ball. And then Arian dives in there and just fights for it.
Like, I mean, a millisecond later, and this guy's got two hands on the ball kind of under his butt.
It's just, and I know you had talked about it on the event today, but it's, Arian's, the drops are a thing. It is. And does he need to catch the ball more? Yes. But all the other stuff he does, he's a gunner on the punt team. When he has the ball in the hands, he's really good with it. He consistently creates separation, fighting like this, just special teams.
I mean, what if he doesn't chase this play? What if he stops because he's like, I've done my job with my blocker here?
A la 5 last week.
Exactly. But he's in position to make the play.
Yeah,
and
that's
the other point that I made. This is a guy that came to Georgia. Yeah, he had football experience, but he's a track star. And I would say now say what you want to about the drops. You can be totally right. Like, Georgia doesn't lead the nation in drops if he doesn't drop the amount of passes that he has. This guy is a full-on football player where he came in as a track star.
Blocker, now all of it. Yeah, very much so.
And NFL teams will like that. No.
And then you get into a gold. Oh, go ahead.
Will they invest a high round pick for someone that has the drops that he has? I don't know. We'll find out together.
No, 5th round. I think so.
But I think
he had dealt. So you get the goal-to-go situation, and he has dealt quickly. He just didn't take it. So get the motion, check what's going on zone. And because of Humphreys does a good job there of going through the defender, and by the way, didn't get any sort of OPI called like Texas did earlier in the game. But that's how you run the route because you're trying to run the route. And he had dealt for that split second. Now, this is something I think that where Georgia's going to have to work around him a little bit is because of the slowness of the release. I think there's going to be a lot of batted balls, especially balls that are over the middle like this where he's trying to hit the running back. Because you can just, as a defender, you can see it. The ball oftentimes with him, the ball is driving. As in, if you what I mean by that is, so you see QBs separate. Oftentimes you see quick releases. The elbow is sort of driving, and it's very quick C motion there. The ball's out versus the ball driving and the ball dropping just a little bit first before just as you go into the motion, that extra little count slows you down a little bit, and defenders can see that, tip the ball, that sort of stuff. So I think that's one of those things. That's why I think you're going to see a lot of pocket movement, bootleg, things like that.
I do think this would have been a touchdown.
I mean, if he puts it on the outside, it puts it away from him. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is
holy.
So I was told today, Brent, that right before this is the interception.
It's third and like 14 or something like that.
Third and 14, but look at the field position. What I was told is that Mike Bobo, right before this in the helmet, is the only thing you can't do here, Gunner, is take a sack. That's the only thing. Anything else we can live with.
Yeah. And that makes sense.
He's trying to throw this away. He's not targeting a receiver. He is trying to throw this away and preserve the field position. And it was a bad decision.
It was a colossally bad decision. And by the way, Georgia, watch this. Thank your lucky stars that 3 starts celebrating and that Lawson Lucky does not give up on this play.
Oh, I thought you were doing the intentional pun with lucky. Thank your lucky stars.
Oh, that too. I didn't realize that. That was unintentional, but it was unintentionally, intentionally awesome.
That is some veteran dad of 3. Don't even realize it.
But watch 3. 3's like, yeah, let's go. And doesn't turn around and block 7. And Lucky makes the tackle. Now, does that guy have to navigate through some traffic and some big guys to score? Yeah, but I think he can do that as a cornerback versus 5 offensive linemen and maybe 1 receiver fighting back. By the way, the thing you think about with a young QBs, oftentimes, what do you not want to do with you want to blitz them, but what does blitzing them do? It gives them quick answers, and because they oftentimes know where their answers are against the blitz. Do you see any answers here? Because I see a lot of answers.
Yeah. So if you just throw into
the running mesh, they're running the mesh rail that we talk about all the time with the rail route out of the back, 2 crossers over the ball route with Dom. Texas didn't care at all. They wanted, and there's like, fine. But this is one where almost like you see that backer right there to the left specifically. Just throw that thing to Lucky instantly. But yeah, there were answers here, and it wasn't ready.
Well, the way that Cash motions out, this becomes empty essentially. And when you have
they bring 6, you got 5.
When you have both of these coming downhill, what do you do when you see a blitz? Throw into the blitz. Anything right there, just a little pop
in the
pass
ground.
Almost. I mean, that'd be fine too if that's the alternative.
Think about that, like.
But
again,
he's looking
speeding
at
him
Cash
up in that
here,
situation.
Right? He's looking for the wheel, maybe with Cash.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's my guess.
And he's also got to check the defender too. The defender's right in his face, so that was also one too. But yeah, that and Texas obviously started doing that as the game with him in the game went on. But one thing I know and I've noticed in the comments, yes, the kid threw for a gazillion yards in high school. There's also, and I'm not discrediting that in whatsoever, but there are levels. And there are things with him where you have to now play to his strengths. His strengths are not Carson Beck's strengths. They're just his strength is going to be play action, be a part of the run game, move the pocket consistently. I want what I'm ready to see, and what I bet you see early in the playoff game is, especially if it's a 2nd and 1 situation, is just a deep shot. Is just a call shot. We're taking a shot no matter what. 1-2, chuck it. Just to see. And by the way, the other thing with him, and you thought with those goal-to-go situations that Georgia did not have, which might actually be playing to Gunner's strength, is Colby Young and throwing back shoulder fades or jump balls, things like that, where maybe that is something that Gunner does really well, and that can be something that becomes more of a part of your offense.
There is limited game film on Gunner Stockton for opposing teams to look at. That play, that interception being on tape, they're going to blitz him and see what they can get out of it. They're going to see if he reacts the same way and causes those mistakes. So Georgia, in the next 3 weeks, plenty of time, has to be ready for that. Specifically for the matchups that could be happening here, Indiana's really good about stopping the run. That may force Gunner to throw more than Georgia's willing to do.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, really good at stopping the pass. Good
Yeah.
at stopping the run, too. Notre Dame's defense is really good. I suspect that matchup will end up being Notre Dame. We'll have that discussion another day. But if you just start to think about what are the things that Gunner Stockton does well, he's going to have to do more than just be a runner in a college football playoff.
It's not a bad thought. One read, where's the check down? If not, run.
We are going to wrap this episode of Film Don't Lie. But before we do need to give a shout out to our season-long supporters, Breda Pest Management, the official pest control of the Georgia Bulldogs, Oconee Gold Barbecue Sauce. You can get 20% off if you use the promo code Film Don't Lie, Oconee Gold BBQ Sauce.com. So many good varieties from them, and it's made fresh in Statham, Georgia. So check out Oconee Gold Barbecue Sauce. And ASW Distillery, 5 of the 6 founders at ASW are UGA grads. They like to say that they are distilled by dogs, and they're very happy these days because that's 2 wins over Texas, and they make a vodka that is better than Tito's vodka. Tito's supports Texas, and like $20 million worth. Anytime that you buy the Hunker vodka from ASW Distillery, portions of that go to Georgia's Classic City Collective, and the transfer portal just opened today. So I think that's a very busy operation. As it were.
It's insane that it is, by the way. Thanks. Shout out to Casey in the chat for the super chat and Jonathan and all the love. There we go. Boom.
Yeah, Casey's exactly his strengths and not Carson Beck. That's what good coaches do. And then MTB Shredders wants to know when you're quitting your day job to do this full time.
Unfortunately, never. It's hard. That's hard to do.
Can we just have
Can't
fun?
do that one. Yes.
Can we just have fun with that? It would take a lot of super chats for that to happen for the both of us. Let's go with that. But hey, if you want to, we'll get it in there. Thanks everybody for watching Film Don't Lie from UGAsports.com. If you are watching live, we are coming right back after this with a new stream.
Overtime.
Every single play of overtime, except Texas's field goal, because I didn't want to show it. Everything else is there. Make sure you subscribe, hit thumbs up here on UGA Sports on YouTube. So, like our page on Facebook, and we'll see you next time from Film Don't Lie.